Hey there, everybody. Thanks for all the engagement. This question comes from Richie B at Dickie B Photography. And one of his questions was, how do you stay motivated from day to day? So the first answer that comes to mind immediately from that question is, what are you focused on? Right? So for me, in regards to what I'm trying to accomplish, I'm trying to build a business, particularly focused on trying to help as many clients as possible. So I'm in the financial services arena. And so for me, I'm motivated to change that narrative of financial illiteracy that exists and giving people the knowledge that they need in order to make good financial decisions, whether that's buying a car, saving for their future, protecting their assets, growing their investments, and saving for for things that are important to them. That's something that I'm very passionate about, and that aligns with my why of leaving a legacy by positively impacting people. So that's why I chose a career where I'm helping people. I like financial services from the standpoint that I really enjoy learning that material. So if there's articles, I immediately go to those articles. If, let's say, someone gives me a newspaper, an old school newspaper, the first section I will go to is a business section. Don't care about the comics, don't care about the sports, don't care about the politics. I go straight to business. I like to know what companies are being led by particular business owners. I like to know different founders. I like to know different acquisitions. I like to know how the stock market does. That's where I kind of geek out a little bit. And so that's where I'd start first from a motivation perspective. What do you enjoy doing? Find out what you like to do. At the same time, identify quickly what you don't like to do, and that'll put you in the right space. And then from the motivation perspective, day to day, know yourself. So, for example, I think you're either a marathon runner or a sprinter when it comes to business. So, what I mean by that for me is I typically go about 90 days hardcore, all in, and then I'll take 3 to 5 days off, and then I'll repeat again. I know other people, they're definitely just the slow and steady, very methodical. For them, the 3 day weekends that have occasionally come just due to the national holidays or the days off for work, they can deal with, and then they'll take the occasional vacation just to be able to check out because they have that vacation time. And so know yourself, know your cadence in regards to your energy level and what you can do. And then if you find that the motivation is tough when the chips are down, or you just got to know you just got bad news when it came to business, figure out how quickly you can turn around, like turn it on its head. So I'll call this like turnaround speed, right? So basically, I got dealt some bad news, and how do I quickly maneuver from that? So luckily, I'm in sales. So literally, based on my numbers, about 40% of the time, people are going to say no. They just are. I mean, it's just who they are from a standpoint of they're not in the right place. So the way that I have it in my mind is it's purely a sifting process. So my job is to sit down with, let's say, 1,000 people over the course of a couple years, or maybe more like 3 years, and figure out what do they want to do. And some will be ready; they'll be at the right point. Some won't be ready, and so I'll keep in contact with them over the next 2 to 3 years. And some will never come on board, and that's okay. And I can't get emotional about that, just knowing that it's going to happen. So it'd be the same thing that Richie, if you and I were to go to, let's say, a batting cage, and we have a half hour to bat each. So we're not going to care if we strike out. We're not going to care when we hit and doesn't connect all the way. Our only goal there is to hit for the entire half hour. And so if we have the same thought process there in that batting cage, we take it to business and say, okay, our process here is just to go at bat and just to keep doing it and keep hustling on the different projects, keep putting forth our best effort, good things will eventually come. The tough thing, though, is to be able to know that when you get dealt those losses, how quickly you can turn it around and be focused on the next thing. I find that oftentimes with people that in my industry that I talk to and I coach, if they don't have a lot going on, right? So let's say they only have like 2 clients they're actually working on right now for new business. The moment that one of those falls off, they get emotional and they get very desperate. However, if you flip it on its head and say, hey, I have 30 different potential cases that are going to get written over the next 90 days, you feel almost invincible. Some will, some won't. So what? Move on. Hope that helps, Richie. Have a great day.